Don't shoot the messenger. We're here to talk about Gen Z and the multiple issues that people are having with them.
45% of Gen Z adults live with their parents. But get this, no one is calling them lazy. Gen Z moved home and was like,
I'm not fucking leaving! This is my home!
They're lazy and they're entitled. I don't want to work with them. I hear that so often about Gen Z.
I love working with Gen Zs because you can tell that they've seen millennials be abused for years and they're just like, we're not doing that. Like, you are the last generation that allowed that, and we're not. That's over now.
It's not just the employers. It's not just social media. Parents are getting tired too. I actually am an empty nester, and I don't really have to deal with anyone Gen Z on a daily basis, not even in my job as I'm entering retirement soon. But there have been a lot of complaints. And today we're going to talk about it more from the parenting side and the things that parents are complaining about Gen Zers.
I talk to parents all the time who say, but we're not the kind of parents that will just throw our kid out of the house. I am not about to let my son or daughter go homeless. So I really feel like there's no consequence whatsoever we can put on them when they're not working, when they're refusing to go to therapy or take medication, when they're smoking pot all day long, whatever it is the circumstances are, and they've tried several times to get their kid to do the thing. But the kid actually knows there's really no ultimate consequence. So the question is, why would there actually be any change?
I'm going to tell you this. When I was 18, I had a plan before I turned 18 that I wanted to move out of the house. I just think back then it was just a thing. Times were different. Finances were different. Totally different economy. So I get that part. I get that part. When I moved out at 18, I was working at Target paying $395 a month for an apartment in the 90s with my boyfriend at the time. And we were living, we were able to buy groceries. We had a cat, which, we afforded a pet, had no problem paying bills. It was kind of like easy. It wasn't the nicest apartment, but I felt safe. Things have changed. And this is what parents are saying about their Gen Z children. And these are the issues. And if you are in a situation where you are a Gen Zer living at home, or if you have a Gen Zer living in your home, what do you think? Now, let's not sit here and beat up on Gen Z if they are actually having an issue. Like they do have more issues with mental health, anxiety, and all of those things that are now widely discussed. Those things happened when I was younger, but it wasn't openly discussed. We weren't able to talk about them. But I'm going to admit, you can't use that excuse for all of them. There were lazy people back when I was younger, and there are lazy people now. And some of these parents, we're going to talk about it. Are they enabling these children? Are they just throwing their hands up, making excuses for them? Because we can't just say that it's hard out there. It's been hard out there for a while. And you have Gen Z children, adults, young adults out there making it. So what is the real problem? Are we just becoming people that are we becoming super soft? Because everyone's saying, never bring me up, or my generation, Gen Xers, we're forgotten about, and I love it. It's always millennials and boomers. So are they saying that millennials and boomers are becoming a softer generation? Are they enabling this? Why are these things happening? And what do you do? What do you do if you are a person that has this young adult in your home?
Answer this question. Are you doing too much for your 18 to 25-year-old right now? Physically, financially, emotionally, are you doing work that is theirs to be doing? Why? What emotions are you having that are getting in the way of doing things for them that they can and should be doing for themselves? I hear moms say all the time, I just think they have so much potential and I just hate to see them fail. Do you not understand that it's in the failures and in the difficult things that they learn, that they make mistakes, that they grow to be strong individuals. When you rush in and do for them what they should be doing for themselves, you take away their purpose.
These are the comments that came out of this particular segment. So we're going to go over them. Leave him alone. He's alive, isn't he? It's depression and anxiety, and pushing makes them feel attacked. Let them adjust to their feelings and try to come from loving perspective and not nagging. Okay, well, how long do you do that? How long do you try not to nag them? Do you do it for 6 months? Do you do it for a year? Do you do it for 3 years? I mean, how long does that last? The problem is forgetting the meaning of parenting. Children are not your friends. Limits have to be established from day one. My dad stopped giving me money. I had a job 5 days later, but I know I wasn't depressed. My brother will be 50 this year and still lives with my mom. No job, contributes nothing, and my mom says he's my son. Makes me so angry. Anxiety, depression, autism, and ADHD. My son, after high school, I told him, college or you can live rent-free. If you're not going to college, you need a job and pay rent. I gave him 6 months and finally kicked him out. So much pressure on kids. Let them be. Cut the power to his room. You pay for his phone. Stop it. He needs to get a job. Make sure he gives you every store he applied for. This stems from how you raised him to this point. You coddled him, I bet, most of his life. The comment section is full of bad advice. When you force things that build resentment, each life path is different. Help the child discover is part of the process, and sometimes it's slow. In Europe and Latin America, many kids live with their parents well into their 30s or sometimes forever, but they should be working towards a goal, either work or school. Cut the money, train, and video games. School or job, you can stay. Otherwise, you could go live with your friends. Cut the internet, for starters, was the start of our situation. COVID had a huge impact on this age group. I hear you. Sid put a heart. I've been there. It came time to tell him he had 3 choices. He had to leave, hardest thing I've ever had to say, go to school, or sign up for Job Corps. He chose Job Corps and is doing well. Next one, military. Make it uncomfortable for them, i.e. internet, money, freedom, cooking, cleaning for them. This is, with all of those comments and all those things that you heard, this is where I stand with it. I agree with take things away. If you are able-bodied and you are capable of getting a job, and we have insurance, and you are on the insurance, and you have the option to go to therapy, and you're choosing not to, and you're sitting in your room all day, I don't care if it's smoking weed, drinking sodas, chewing gum, I don't care what it is. And you are sitting on social media all day just being depressed, because that's going to also keep someone in this situation depressed. Any person who is Gen Z, who's living at home, who is already in a woe is me attitude, are going to stay in that attitude or stay in that mental state if they are on social media. Once again, like I always say, social media is fake. They will believe that all of these people are doing so much better than them that are their age, and they're going to think that they are behind. They are going to think that why am I not going on these trips? Why can't I do all this luxury shopping? Why can't I do all of these out to brunch and stuff with my friends? Why can't I go on all these yacht trips? Because a lot of those trips and all those things are fake, and a lot of people, young people, are in debt, i.e. we just did my Coachella video. They are after-paying Klarna and affirming all of these things. So they are in high debt. So if you have a young person in your home who is sitting in their room all day just saying, woe is me, and scrolling social media, they are not going to have motivation to get up and get out and get something. They're not going to have motivation to get a freaking job. Also, if I was in that situation, and yes, I am a mother, you are not going to sit in my house and not have any responsibilities. You are going to show me that you are actively looking for a job. You are going to be cleaning up the house. You are going to be doing things in the home that I typically would do that I'm not going to do because you have absolutely nothing to do. And if you have a problem with that, then we are going to have to come up with a different kind of option. There is no way that I am going to have a grown adult in my home where there is nothing wrong with them, where they can sit in their room all day and do nothing and allow their room to be filthy.
Someone please tell me what I am supposed to do. I have a 20-something that is living in our home whose room is disgusting. Not only is there dirty laundry all over the floor and wet towels, but food and trash from one end to the other. They refuse to clean it up. And I have been told by professionals, it's their space. Let them do what they want in their space.
I do consider that enabling. We get to the point, do you kick them out? Well, I don't say kick them out right away. It just depends on how bad it is. Some people, they have kids in their home that are actually doing hardcore drugs. They're stealing from their parents. Like, when do you cut the cord? I think it's very unfair to tell a parent, unless you know their situation, when it is okay to tell someone when they cannot leave their home. Like, you don't know everyone's situation. And there are different situations where, I'm not going to allow disrespect in my home. To me, your home is supposed to be a place of peace. And yes, there's not always going to be peace in your home, but I'm not letting a grown adult who has the capabilities of getting a job, stay employed, and I'm paying a cell phone bill where they're sitting in their room on social media all day long. You are going to school, getting a job, or going to Job Corps, or going to the military. Those are your 4 options, and you're getting a freaking time frame. And if you go and do those things and then figure it out, and you get out there in life and you fail and you need some help, then yes, my door is open to help you again. But to allow you to just sit in my home and not do absolutely anything with no plan, I, as a parent, would feel like I'm setting you up for failure. I'm not doing anything to help you or encouraging you just because you are my child. And I know a lot of kids these days don't have the same urgency to get out of the house because it is a scarier world out there. It is a more expensive world out there. That's why when you are in the home every day, you should be not sleeping in. You should be getting up and actively looking for what you have a plan on what you want to do. You may have to take that job for a couple years that you do not like just to get on your feet to save money. And that's, I think, where the problem is. Gen Z has this reputation of, we don't like this job, we're going to quit right away. And that's fine. But the generation I grew up in, if you want to quit a job, you need to have another job lined up. You need to have a plan. And because a lot of parents these days are just leaving the door open for the kid to stay home or I don't even want to say kid, young adult to stay home as long as possible, it's not making them use their thinking cap. Their wheels are not having to spin. They are thinking, I have all the time in the world to make a decision. And once they get out in the real world, if they have that type of thinking, that type of mentality, they're going to have a rude awakening, because you are going to get to a job where that boss is going to come that you do not like, or that coworker is going to come that you do not like. And you are going to have to find a way to socially and mentally work around that. The answer is not quitting right the second that this person says something that you don't like. That's not realistic. It's not going to happen. And I know that there are a lot of complaints that boomers are not leaving these jobs so they can't get jobs, and they've gone to college, and the college dream that was sold to them was just a bunch of BS, because now we have all of these degrees and we cannot get these jobs. But like I said, for me personally, I had to work a lot of jobs that I did not want to work to get to the job career that I actually wanted. And that's, I think, the difference between the 2 generations now. They feel like they have all these options. Dating is no longer going to the grocery store, seeing that cute girl, that cute guy, and saying hello, having that interaction, and maybe exchanging phone numbers. Going to that house party and meeting a cute girl or cute guy, and then telling your friends, hey, I think they're cute. Going to the club, I saw a video the other day. Going to the club now is just sitting on the wall or sitting in a section. Everybody, no one's dancing. Everybody is just freaking videotaping themselves or whatever and posting to social media. There's no social interaction anymore, and that is the problem. I do feel for this generation because all they have known are electronics. So they don't want to go out and speak to people. They don't want to go out and do the hard things. So what do you do in this situation? Do you allow your grown child to stay in the house with no stipulations and then bitch and complain about it on social media? Do you give them an ultimatum? How long do you give them? What are your thoughts on this video? Make sure you like, thumbs up, and subscribe to this channel because your girl's been working hard, but I definitely want to know your thoughts on this because Gen Z, we got to figure some things out. We got to figure some things out for you guys because life's not getting any easier. It is only going to get harder, especially if you see they're replacing people with AI, even in hospitals and stuff. We're not going backwards. We're going forward, and we can't set you guys up for failure. We cannot set you up for failure. These are going to be our children, our children's children, their children. We got to come up with a plan. All right, I'll see you guys in the next video. Let me know your thoughts and what you think. Peace.